Hello, metal people. It's weird because the mic's not here. The mic's here because it needs to work for Thomas 2. Thomas 2 with his Amp1. Get it? At Thomas 2 with it.
Okay.
We've meddled just a little bit too much today. Thomas Blug is here in German. In English, Thomas Blug is here. Thomas stopped by with his Amp1 Iridium edition, which is all black. And he wanted to check out how does it sound compared to loads of stuff on the amp rack. And we wanted to do kind of the video that we did for the Mercury edition, where we're setting up really cool sound on all the amps and then go back and forth. But I decided, because I'm the decider, that it makes more sense to hear that in context,
right? With a real backing track.
The impulse from the kick and the bass and maybe some vocals and a second guitar doodling in the background, so that you can hear in context how much the Amp1 Iridium edition stacks up and how it stacks up against, some other competitors, or not really competitors, bigger amps, classic amps. And so we spend quite a bit of time doing that, and I think that tells you quite a bit about how good this thing really is. So spend 5 minutes with the same damn track 7 times. It's a little ditty I wrote called Saturday Morning Afternoon Sun with Flowers. I don't know. I think this also answers the question, does it gent?
Well, it's very gentle.
It's a gentlemanly track. Check it out, and then we're back. And we're back, but we're disappearing again because that was about 50 seconds each amp. Now we're going to do the same track and we're flipping back and forth so you can really hear the differences or not. One more time. Afternoon, sun, morning, flowers on a meadow track. So there you go. I'm very impressed because it doesn't just nail the one metal sound. The vintage, classic, and modern, which are, except for the modern, all named completely wrong, Thomas. I'm sorry.
Well,
here's the vintage metal sound, which actually delivers the most modern metal sound.
who cares?
Yeah, I'm just
If
saying.
it sounds good, who cares?
I would have called it mayhem, destruction, and something modern.
I call it vintage, though.
It's very vintage. So now that you pretty much have the information that you need, why are you still here? Well, we're gonna still play around with it a little bit. What we didn't do in the Mercury video is I actually have never played with an Amp1. In that Mercury video, I mean, I played it.
Yeah, but I was dealing all...
I literally don't know what the deal is. So I think we should know what the deal is.
Well, you know, the basics, it's a 100 watts nanotube amplifier, all analog, no latency. And as you can hear in the A-B comparison, it is kind of a, you know, amp that sounds and feels like an analog tube amp.
Give me 1 second because the speaker's in the way. Leslie, why didn't you say the speaker's in the way?
The speaker?
Okay.
So again, well, the Amp1 is a 100 watt nanotube amp, all analog, and it does the job of, you know, amps that we know, like tube amps, just using miniature parts, SMD components, and
Surface mounted device.
oh, this guy has some deep inside knowledge. You know, they are so small that
I don't know about small things. I have no idea.
Whoa. Dick.
But the nanotube, I would have assumed, and so do many of those people, that the nanotube would be preamp, but it's not.
It is in the power amp. Because
It's in the power amp, exactly.
I found that, you know, the power amp, well, I think backwards in the guitar amplifier. You know, when you go back in history, the first guitar amps were designed to make a guitar louder. So it's kind of a power amp and something preamp. And the very first amps didn't have much tone shaping or overdrive. But this is the foundation of a guitar amp in general. So when the power amp is right, you can start with a preamp. But first get the power amp right. And the feel in the power amp is the tube sagging and, you know, and the saturation that makes an amp feel like a tube amp. And this is actually a high plate voltage tube in the power amp section driving a Class D. So it is a combination of tube, analog, and Class D.
It's tubifying the Class D, whereas the preamp
is pure analog. But not having the tube. So
which is fine because I mean I have a lot of pedals that I love. I mean I've got killer overdrive pedals, killer distortion pedals, and they don't have tubes in them.
Yeah, and so I think it is possible now to get to the level.
Yeah, wait a second. We got to take this.
Glenn.
Hey Glenn, why don't we see you, Glenn?
My camera's on. Says yours is off.
Hello.
Hey, Thomas Blue.
Yeah, Glenn.
To the viewers right now, Glenn, go to favorite. Say hi to the viewers.
Hi to the viewers.
We are doing metal amps.
Yeah.
Oh, very good. Hey, I was playing with mine the other day. Where the fuck is that?
Wait. What do you mean? You have one. Where's mine, Thomas Blue?
Well, let's talk after this video.
Okay. Because okay.
How cool is that?
These things are fucking awesome.
Say that again into the mic.
That get into the mic.
Oh, Glennis, what do you want? We're doing an amazing video. You know, it's something you don't know much about.
No.
First time for everything.
No. Hey, Glenn is the guy that turned me on to do this project right, because I could see on his face when I was there with my Mercury edition. It was okay, but you know what? And then I could see it in his eyes. It's not 100% perfect.
First time Glenn has ever heard from anyone, you turn me on.
Yeah.
That he's never ever heard that from anyone else.
Yeah, but hey, big contribution from Glenn. Thank you.
Oh, yeah, it was great. We actually went to, after NAMM last year, we went to the studio in LA, and
Right.
I sat down with Thomas. We checked out a couple different metal amps and kind of showed him the tones I'm looking for. And, I just, I've got this thing mic'd here. I'm kind of working on my video a little bit. And yeah, the thing's fantastic. It's absolutely killer. So, super impressed there.
Well, since we already know your opinion, you don't really need to make a video because you're in mine. It's all good. It's 2 for 1. I think we're good. How about I call you back later and you let us work?
The distribution guy says, we're like, hey, where's our fucking video?
Let us work. Let us actually do, some good content for once.
That would be nice. We're all eagerly anticipating that.
Okay.
It would be super nice if that happened for a change.
Okay.
All right. Okay, fantastic. Anyway, I'll let you get back to your show. Merry Christmas to both you guys.
Okay.
And, it was very nice seeing you, Thomas.
Bye, Glenn.
Okay, see you at NAMM, man.
Seeing both you guys in January. Take care. Have a great show.
Bye.
Cheers.
See you later.
Okay. So live.
So
on camera.
we're doing 2 videos at the same time, apparently. It's Glenn. He's a darling. He calls regularly, either with questions or sometimes he just calls and says, "How you doing?" Which is nice. So apparently he likes this thing. But then again, what does Glenn know about metal?
Well, probably more than I do.
Well, I'm not gonna argue with that. Okay. He would pull a Strat off the wall to play that thing, which is just wrong. So, nanotube, power amp, we got that. Let's go to the top and explain to the viewers what we can control right on the top. Leslie, go to the top. Thank you.
Okay, it's very easy. There's a clean channel, so I can switch between clean and overdrive channels with this first switch here. And then when it's on clean, this is my clean volume. So when the volume is on lower settings, it also automatically increases the amount of high of treble, just like a bright switch on a Fender amp. So that comes in handy when you have humbuckers and you need, more clarity, and especially if they have high output. The other thing is on the side there is a clean tone control.
Other side.
Yeah, this one. Oops. So the first one here is called clean tone, and this blends between what I call the standard, nice traditional clean tone versus a more hi-fi clean tone I showed you earlier in the video, that helps a high output humbucker that has a lot of mid-range to become more
Sparkly.
So this is something on a metal amp. I think it makes a lot of sense to work with the guitars that would be used with this, and not have just a nice standard clean amp and give it an extra feature here. So next control here is gain, which is the gain for all the 3 overdrive channels, and master. Each of the overdrive channels have their own tone controls on the side. So on the left side is more or less some more mid-rangey sounds in general, and when you turn it up, it's getting bigger and wider and maybe scooped, but it is more than one frequency. I have actually a tone stack with these SMD components, very small, on one side with one setting, and I have another tone stack on the other side, and I can blend continuously between the two.
So what you do on the side is more of a general voicing for
Voicing
that channel.
character.
Yeah.
Yeah. And of course, you have your own style and the channel has its character, but the voicing comes in handy because if you like the product or if you like the size, everything is like, I'm missing this. We have more options here.
There's more than meets the eye from looking at the top.
Right.
Now, my question is, this gain is shared between those three.
Right.
So it doesn't save the gain setting. Okay,
no.
so it's pretty much a 2-channel amp at any given point in time.
Okay, you could have a MIDI or my remote pedal to control it, and then
He's trying to sell you more crap.
yeah.
Look at that. You could have my remote pedal.
Yeah. Or you just get a
I
MIDI
get
controller.
what you're trying to do, Mr. Bluk.
And then you can have your individual gain for each channel.
Okay.
So it is there, but just, even in the metal world, how many different settings you
need one sound. You need
Yeah.
loud. That's it.
Yeah. And then that's the master here. You can dial in volumes for the channels, so you can actually match the tone and the volume for each channel against the other one. So when you flip from channel to channel, you will have the possibility to make your personal settings and have one maybe as a solo sound and the other one as a rhythm sound and get the right volume.
Of course, when you have the additional foot switch that you can get.
Or you program it into the internal foot switches here.
Okay.
There's a mode, so this switch can have one setting, this can have another setting, and that can have another setting.
Okay.
There's so many
Right
options.
now, the traditional thing is boost.
Boost and reverb.
Okay, and the boost you can set on the side.
Right, there's
On the very top, there's a boost. The EQ, does it also apply to the clean channel?
Yes.
Okay.
This is the overall EQ, and I try to make this kind of a thing. So the individual settings of the channel are on the side, and then when you match all the sounds and the gain and especially the frequencies, you can have a master EQ for the live use. This was my concept here. So if you're missing some high end, you can miss it, or you will miss it on all the channels once the balance is right.
You will go and grab whatever's on top, not on the side.
Exactly.
The top is a thing like, okay, I need to tweak a little bit.
Yeah.
Two thoughts that I'm having looking at this. The reverb, it's a metal amp. Do we really need that?
No.
Probably not. But
No.
it was in the Mercury edition and it's in there.
Yeah, and I use this switch now for an extra function because the Amp1 has a noise gate. And the noise gate has like 3 positions. One is off, obviously. The other one is soft, and the other one is metal. So metal is the really dry one, the hard one, the fast one. But when you switch this gate here with this switch to metal, the reverb switch will put it from metal to soft. So
okay.
depending if maybe you want to have a solo sound and you want to have the dry
Sustained.
yeah. So when the dry signal or the dry rhythm sounds, you have the reverb always off. And if you switch on the reverb, you can have the soft setting with some reverb, or you just have the reverb on 0, then you switch the noise gate with this channel. And this is also memorized when you use the internal presets. So you could have, a clean channel that uses whatever reverb or whatever, and then you have your rhythm channel that has the metal gate, and then you have another channel or the same channel with the soft gate. Also,
There's a lot of smart thinking in there from someone who plays live quite a bit.
yeah, and also these switches can memorize the on-off position of the effects loop. So
that's important. So when you go to your solo sound, your delay automatically is there
Comes in.
without you having to program anything.
Absolutely.
So the second thing.
I'll be back.
The second thing that I was thinking is, you should have not named this master, but you should have named this Off Puppets. Because that would have been so fucking funny to do for this pedal. What's this Off Puppets? I think everyone would have gotten it.
Well, yeah, it's an insider, but
No?
too funny for me.
It's the Off Puppets knob. Come on, everyone would have known what that is. And you know what? Whoever wouldn't have known, they're not worthy to play the Iridium. I'm sorry. So yeah, there's obviously it has a DI out, frequency compensated DI.
And this can also be switched off on the Iridium edition for the guys that want to use their own IRs.
Yeah, or IR loader and all that
Blah,
stuff.
blah, blah.
Yeah.
You know, I know the metal guys are super keen on using their own IRs because I believe in the kerosene and whatever,
Blah, 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 yeah.
So as we all know, the cabinet is 50% of the sound or even more.
I would say more.
Yeah, but so it has a speaker emulation on board, can be switched off. It does have the effects loop. The effects loop is switchable from serial to parallel. On the bottom is even a minus 10 plus 4 dB switch for the level. So you can use any kind of pedals, studio.
So it's got everything. And the thing that I love, let's go to the side again, that many people point out, that really is clever. You can put this on top of an amp with a handle. Or on top of a cab with a handle. Or if there's already an amp from the band that's playing before or after you, you can still put this on top and it's not gonna, fall down.
Yeah.
Because too many companies don't think about that. Does that accommodate the height of a leather handle though?
Some of them. I mean, there are some super thick ones. Sorry, I can't handle these
because
handles.
I have these boxes here. The aux does fit on a leather handle.
Yeah.
The Boss also. But the Torpedo Reload will not fit on something with a leather handle, and the Iron Man also won't. In this edition, next time around, they're making the next batch, they actually are changing that because I bitched about that.
Yeah.
But if you have something that goes on top of a cab or an amp, you have to have high feet, and you don't have high feet, but you have this. So let's get some sounds before you because you actually need to go to Stuttgart
and play a gig tonight,
but not a metal gig.
No,
I'm playing this guitar that I'm not talking about because I'm not allowed to yet, but I don't care because it's very metal. Of course, I gave this to Thomas to tune. What did he do? He gave me an E-tuning. Come the fuck on! Are we doing a metal thing or not?
Okay. So you're still in
E. Technically, we should be in drop, doom, who knows what crap.
Yeah.
But I'm old, so I'm gonna go drop D is good enough for me. We're in 8, and you're in 8, and ouch. Well, the noise gate was on. I didn't know. Apparently, so be careful. We had the Ormsby earlier. Now we have this thing, and as I told you, there's no low end at all. This is all bite, so make sure you don't give me too much bite from you.
Okay, I'm on some old setting here, which is funny.
Let's go to clean first. Let's show what it can do. Clean.
Okay.
We're going into the aux with the V30, by the way. Oh. So technically, this is a metal thing. So all that the metal guys need is... And the vocalist goes... And then we leave clean and never get back to it.
Okay, good enough for the intro.
Good. Exactly. So let's go to the actual song. God, that noise gate gates the noise.
Yeah.
God, that's a good combo. I don't know what you got. That's, of course, the vintage channel. Well, sounds vintage to me. But wow, the attack. Guitar has no low end. It's got a harness bridge. It's right freaking there. But wow. more meat on that.
I give you the boost and I switch it on in the middle, and then I increase a bit so you can see the difference. Okay, this is like.
I'm working on it, Leslie. I'm working on it.
Okay, medium. Okay, enjoy.
That will cut through every mix ever. That chugginess is fun.
I hold it.
Noise gate's fun. Same setting.
Different guitar.
More strings. This should be more bassy. This all of a sudden, after playing the other one, feels like you're playing an elephant. It's just, everything is huge about this thing. But obviously that guitar has more meat.
Absolutely.
This is ultra lean.
Yeah.
That shows you have to have the right combo of everything. You need to have the right cab. And, you know, if I played the Maybach up there, beautiful Les Paul, it's an amazing guitar, but I'm not going to get that precision that this guitar gives me. This precision is it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And now, if you have this, which is kind of leaner, and then you're hitting those bass drums, and then the bass player is hitting the bass drums and you, then you have what makes gent.
And we're still vintage channel. So shall we check the next channel?
Yep.
Okay, I get rid of the boost. I flip over to the classic, and we start from where we are.
Mids are different. Switch between classic and vintage. It does. For this guitar, that might be better.
Yeah.
Because it gets chunkier.
And now I give you the big sound, which is, it's a bit scoop, but check it with this guitar. I think you like it.
I'm playing major.
Happy, huh?
Sure. Happy metal.
You just created a new style. Happy metal.
Happy metal. Let's go. Let's go evil again. Let's go all flat. I can't do this. That is ultra precise, in fact. Does complement the guitar a bit more, but that shows you that with the Iridium for Amp1 Blue something, who knows that thing, that with the Ormsby, when I recorded the beautiful Happy track earlier, it was too much. It was too fat. So you can really dial it in perfectly based on the instrument, which has to be of a decent level because you're playing metal. You need precision and all this. But with this, I need fatness. With the Ormsby, I need it a little bit leaner. So we actually stuck with the vintage channel, and we're very happy with that. Give me modern.
I give you modern.
I slipped! Guitar's so evil. I'm having some fun. Yeah, they all are different, and then within the settings, you can still push them in a different directions. Like when we recorded the track earlier, Thomas gave me lots of options, and I was like, classic metal, new metal, gent, it most certainly can do. I can very easily probably dial in like what could be considered a classic metal sound, which is what Randy Rhoads had with the Marshall.
Yeah.
What was that? That's a classic rock sound, really.
Yeah. Even classic rock sounds with Les Paul, it does.
Yeah.
But I mean, I made it black because, my Mercury edition does already the Les Paul stuff and the classic rock stuff. And there's kind of a range where both overlap a bit, So the silver one is fine, but when you want that extra push, that extra level.
The question in general is, what is a good metal sound? It highly depends on the drum sound, what the bass player is doing, is he distorted or not? Is the bass and the guitar playing right on top of each other and doubling, which means the guitar can be leaner, or is the bass more free? It depends on the arrangement. And I'm going to argue that there are as many metal sounds as there are albums. Not guitar players, but albums, because on each album, it's different. Dream Theater, we know Petrucci plays his guitar, his mesa and all that, but I guarantee you from album to album,
it sounds different.
Yeah. Not vastly different, but it has a different signature. So there are as many sounds as there are metal albums. So which sound is a killer sound? I think you can't see the guitar isolated from the song from the band, which is why we put the time into producing the song at the beginning, so that you could really hear how it works. Because in the song, as soon as you turn the bass off, it was there, the attack was there, the articulation was there, but the fullness wasn't, which is exactly what you want. And I love that you can dial it all in. Just one of those settings, just the classic or the vintage or the modern would have been enough. But with those three, I think you're covering everything.
Right. And the most important thing on this Iridium edition is all the channels have a certain tightness. My first version of Amp1 was a real swampy, bluesy version, which I love personally.
Yep.
I have a very old GTM 45, and this is my personal starting point. And then, I learned about tightness more and more, and this is how it feels. I mean, you should show that how, and there's a fun of playing tight amps that still have tone. So for me, it's to max out tone with tightness, and character can exist with both.
Absolutely. It's a different approach in the power amp because the sounds you like, the power amp kind of goes to its knees. That's what you like. You like the fatness, the saturation.
That's me, the vintage guy.
And you like that sponginess, which is exactly what we...
No.
Not we. You, as metal players, don't want, which is why a lot of these metal amps have 150, 180 watts.
And this actually is rated 100, but it has 150 plus headroom. And the sponginess of the power amp is different from my other amps. So,
it has to be because it's a metal amp. It's got to be right there.
Yeah, and this kind of sagging is completely different from my other amps.
We did pit it against some ultra popular and high-end amps, namely the Rev 100P, which is the epitome of amp tone. And I gotta say, when he was developing that, I loaned him my amp for a week, and he did study it just to get an idea of like what is the magic of that rev. And it is magical.
It is magic. It's a beautiful amp.
But we were able to get, well, almost indistinguishably close. And then there's the Engel, and we have the Orange. So we did a couple of things. Just quickly, because we don't have a lot of time, let's go back and forth a bit. We'll go to the rev again where it was set. I always turn on bright and fat. Right now we're not on the red aggression setting, we're on the blue aggression setting. So we're on 14 there now, I think. Oh, no noise gate. I'm having fun! That rawness is what makes the rev the rev. Now we go back to 8.
This is the modern now.
Yeah.
And then I go back to the vintage.
Yeah.
But first,
take it down a little bit volume-wise.
okay.
It's now different, but it's both are killer sounds. That's what matters. Go to what we had before, which was vintage.
And then maybe try this. I'm not sure. Let you play. I dial in.
A/B switches between the two. So,
Which one is which?
well, actually, let's find out. I really know.
Okay.
So switch back and forth a little bit so I don't know where we are.
So now.
Okay.
Another one.
Go back. I can hear a difference. I can't tell you which one is which. I think I like the other one more. Go back to the other one again.
I tell you already what it is because there is no noise gate. You like the other one more,
I like the other one more, yes.
which is my.
Yeah.
Sorry.
But I have to say that it's extremely close and in a mix indistinguishable. But right now, it had a little bit more roundness in like the lower mids.
Yeah. The noise gate tells the difference. Sorry,
yes.
shit, we forgot about that.
But I didn't pay attention to that.
Oh, that's
See,
good.
You
that's
are
good.
much smarter than I am, Mr. Bluk.
Yeah.
Let's go to the Orange, which is a very famous medley amp with the noise. And that has serious low mids. That is Orange.
Okay, I
territory.
switch off my gate now, so we don't. Okay.
Clever man.
guesses.
That is yours.
Yeah.
Because the orange has a lot of density. Everything about orange is ultra dense, and yours is always very defined. Yours is always right here. I feel the attack on yours more. The orange is mushier, but what defines orange and why people love it is it's this ultra dense, more saturated than anything in the world sound, which is also when you put a pedal in front of it, it gives it that. It gets ultra. It's not the most well. Pedals tend to then sound like an orange, but yeah, it had that, but very close. I would say yours was an orange with more definition, and then we have Engel Savage 120 on the lead channel, which is ridiculous.
Okay.
Oh, you wait. You
Switch it on. Which one is which?
Well, there's a noise gate right now.
Okay, sorry. Okay, I go back for the. Okay.
That's more definition again. That's yours.
Yeah. You're right.
Because it's what we want from a metal amp, which is that clarity on the attack.
Yeah.
Yours hat immer die Nase bitte vorn. As we say in
very German.
In the German,
The nose is always a bit in front of everything.
Always has a little bit of the advantage.
Yeah.
And it gets even better when you take the gain down. Right now we're running a lot of gain.
Yeah.
So with a little bit less gain, and what I noticed when I played the track over and over, I got better, so my playing got better, but then the amp helped me to get those notes right on those bass drums. Yeah, I mean, how many thousands is this thing?
Less than 1,000.
So it's light.
Yeah.
And it's
not too expensive.
It's not too expensive. It's flexible. It's black.
It's black and it does fit in your gig bag.
But it doesn't look like a big ass amp and it's easy to carry around. So for the poser and for the poser and me, I gotta say, if I played metal and I was like, I want the big ass amp. But if I'm playing a gig every weekend with Secretaries of Doom, which is my new metal band, of course we all wear skirts, obviously. Now I want that band. Now I want to be lead guitarist in Secretaries of Doom. What we haven't tried is lead sounds, and we're not gonna because I'm not warmed up. This guitar doesn't do leads, and I'm sure it can do that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Just take our word for it. Very impressive. Thank you, Thomas, for opening up the possibility of your amp sucking in this thing, but because you don't know, you come here and you don't know what happens.
No, I always it's a blind date always,
Yep.
which I like. And Henning is he's a straightforward guy who knows what time it is, and he knows whatever. It's improvised, and I like improvisation, and so it's always a challenge, and I take the challenge because that's the only thing that counts.
It's really very, as Glenn said, it is very impressive. And when I'm going on tour with Secretaries of Doom, I'm playing an Amp1 Iridium edition. Woo! Now I gotta form the band and write some songs.
Okay.
About where's the stapler? I don't know whatever secretaries sing about. Thanks, Thomas. That was fun. And I played loads of metal all day very loudly. My ear is ringing.
Yeah, this one. I have it too. Yeah.
Very impressive. If you're in the market for an amp that... wait, we've done this whole thing and I didn't even say metal.
Metal.
Yeah, I kind of have to. I'm sorry, they're expecting it. Yeah. How can I not do the Amp1 Iridium edition without saying... I'm too tired for this bit. Whoa, God, no, I'm dying. Whoa, wait, I'm seriously losing. Whoa, my brain has no end. Whoa. I'm back. I almost fainted there. Good. Told for the shit. I'm back. Whoa, everything got blurry. Metal. Links below. Thanks to Leslie for sitting through this. And we'll see you at the end. Thanks, Thomas.
Cheers.
I wanna drown in your tears. When I'm with you, I'm a person, and I forget all my fears. Hold me and don't let go. I don't care what people say, it's my emotions. I wanna bathe in your sea, I wanna dive in your ocean.